Hey guys, Greenbird here. I hope everyone is doing awesome. I hope everybody weathered the storm, quite literally. I know we had that storm that came up the East Coast. Many of my friends had it way worse than we did here in Maine. You know, we saw some fallen tree limbs and, you know, the yard's a mess with small debris, but I know a lot of people had major flooding and had it a lot worse than we did here. Today I wanted to do a quick video. It made me think about prepping. The reason that it made me think that is because it made me realize that my storm kit is woefully inequipped. Is that a word? But definitely lacks the resources that it needs right now, and it just kind of made me think about prepping in general. And we have a lot going on right now in our country. Things are just a mess right now. We have, you know, the political storm that we're experiencing right now with the, you know, BLM, you know, which I won't get into, but very, very different than the true definition of Black Lives Matter. And I'm sorry if that offends you, but if you can go do some research on the actual group BLM, and you will see that they have nothing to do with racial equality. And then we have the coronavirus, which has shut our economy down. A lot of people are out of work, or have been out of work, and a lot of, you know, people's finances are out of order. So there's just a lot of unrest right now, a lot of civil and political unrest, and it could get worse. It's hard to tell what's going to happen. I pray to God and I hope that it doesn't, but you just never know. But anyway, it made me think when I realized that my storm kit was so woefully, you know, lacking in what it really needed to have in there. I mean, I know I had enough stuff to where I had some workarounds, but it made me think about prepping in general. And I don't consider myself a hardcore prepper. There are a lot of people, a lot of subject matter experts online that can speak to that and that can give you great advice. But I do consider myself somebody who likes to be prepared and ready. I mean, whether it be food or gear, tools, skills. Skills are the best thing you can have. Skills replace gear and replace tools, because skills can make both of those. But it made me think about my interactions with people. There were several people who, throughout the course of, I don't know, probably about 5 or 6 months, 4 or 5 months, who I'd encountered that had mentioned, you know, oh, if SHTF happens, I know where to go. I'm going to your house, and things like that. And you know, oh yeah, you know, I told my neighbor down the road, and you know, he's like, oh yeah, we're going to his house, and that's kind of scary, really. And the reality of it is that, you know, like I said, I'm not a hardcore prepper. I'm not really a huge subject matter expert on any form of prepping. I am a practitioner of primitive living skills. I try and learn as much as I can, and I try and gain the skills that I can to help myself, and, you know, to hopefully share those skills with other people should they want them. But it really made me think that, you know, what would happen if something severe like that happens and people do come to my house. Now, as being a person that preps, as like most people that prep, we tend to over prep a little bit. So we have something to share, whether it be something to trade, something for one thing for another thing, or also because in our heart of hearts, most people who prepare understand that there are going to be people who failed to rise to the occasion and prepare. And you have two choices. You have the choice to take that family who either failed to prepare or never understood the reason for preparing, whether it be ignorance or resistance or whatever it is, and you have the choice of either turning that person away and saying, no, you're not going to have food, you're not going to have shelter, you're not going to have protection, and you have to live with that, or having the ability to say, okay, well, I have a little extra. It's not going to be the top of the line, but this is what I'm going to give you to help you, you know, help you survive, help you make it through it. You know, maybe you give them a knife and a fire starter and 2 days worth of food, whatever it is that you do. So it really made me think about that, and made me realize that, you know. So the point of what I'm saying is that it's so important that people understand. And I'm not judging, and I'm not calling people out. And like I said, I'm absolutely no expert on any of this stuff that I'm talking about. But I am taking it upon myself to learn as much as I can and have as much as I have to offer. But the fact of the matter is, it's just not enough to know somebody. You have to be that person in any way, shape, or form you can. If you don't have the ability, the finances, the space, or whatever to prepare, have something to bring to the table. And that brings me to a point I meant to mention earlier. So the last person that had mentioned, I know where to go when SHTF happens, or the apocalypse, as he put it, whatever. And it just sort of kind of came out of my mouth. I don't know if it was, if I had just, if I was frustrated or what, but I let him know. I was like, that's great, you better have some skills to bring to the table. Luckily, you're a good carpenter. He's a contractor. So I said, luckily you're a good carpenter and you have some skills, so you have something to offer. So, maybe you'd be part of the organization. And I kind of laughed. It gave me a weird look, and it made me think. It's like a lot of people out there, I think they just assume that the people who have taken the time and the effort to learn and prepare are just going to take care of the people who have not, much like the way people perceive our government. I mean, there are a lot of people out there right now that just assume our government is going to take care of them. It's sad because it just brings us in the wrong direction, but just like the government won't take care of you, don't assume that your neighbors who have things that you don't have will take care of you. So I guess the positive point of this is bring something to the table, learn some skills, get good at gardening, learn how to brew beer, learn how to cook, learn how to, I don't know, learn how to harvest wild edibles. Just have something of value, and you'll have no problem fitting into any type of organization that might not share your same views as far as like firearms or anything like that. It's not all about hoarding a bunch of guns and stuff like that. That's the stuff you see on TV. So anyway, this is just kind of a rant. I did record a flint knapping video yesterday. I don't know if I'm going to post it or not, because it did have kind of, it had some content in there that I'm not sure reflects the spirit of my page, but we'll see what happens. So anyway, if anybody has any questions or any comments or any advice or anything like that about this particular video, I know this is, like I said, sort of a rant and off topic of the channel, but I thought it was something that was important to share with people, because you just never know what's going to happen, and you don't want to be caught off guard. Alright guys, I hope everyone's safe, happy, be kind to each other, love each other, tell someone you love them, and I'll see you next time.